6:48 right now, time for the morning rush. A New Mexico mom will learn her prison sentence. It comes after pleading guilty to being involved in a drunk driving crash that killed 2 kids in 2021. Danielle Ortiz, along with the driver, Alexis Martinez, they were both drinking when Martinez slammed into a concrete barrier near the Big I. Martinez's 7-year-old daughter was killed, along with Ortiz's infant son. Ortiz's sentencing is scheduled for 2:30 this afternoon.
Clovis police is investigating a deadly shooting near Grand and MLK. That shooting happened Saturday night. Witnesses tell officers they heard several gunshots and saw the victim fall to the floor as a potential suspect ran away from the scene. The victim was taken to the hospital where he died yesterday.
Families who have lost loved ones to homicide gather to honor the memories of those that they lost at one Albuquerque park. Yesterday, hundreds of community members came together to support the victims of violence at Roosevelt Park. The families were encouraged to bring a photo of their loved ones to display at the memorial. They're going to be holding a candlelight service at New Beginnings Church tonight from 6 to 8. Zoe.
Yes, and we're looking at a nice and cool day across the east, especially compared to this weekend when they were in the triple digits. Backdoor cold front has offered a bit of cooler air and maybe an isolated spotty shower, while the rest of us are going to be a few degrees warmer, plenty of sunshine and dry air to kick off this Monday.
Albuquerque Public Schools say their school attendance teams are making a difference when it comes to chronic absences. The teams first work with the student to address their truancy. If the problem continues, they then reach out to the parents. Since the start of the program, they say they've already seen a 9 to 10% decrease in absenteeism. And
we're hearing from both Democrats and Republicans about the ongoing legal battle over the newest redistricting map. Republicans argue in the lawsuit that the district boundaries were drawn by a Democratic-controlled legislature trying to dilute Republican voter strength in the state's 2nd district. However, New Mexico's Democratic Party argues that the map was created through a nonpartisan process.
The city of Hobbs is expected to give information on an infant that was recently placed in a safe haven baby box. The baby was placed in the baby box incubator on Saturday afternoon and was taken to Covenant Health Hobbs Hospital. Zoe.
Our Metro Threat Index for today is extremely low at a 1 out of 10 as dry and warm weather will persist. Maybe an isolated chance for a shower down south, but other than that, it's going to be a quiet Monday ahead of us.
An Albuquerque woman is making her dreams come true. That's while serving her country, and she says she gets to do it all while working with man's best friend. Desiree Finnegan left Albuquerque more than 3 years ago to join the U.S. Navy, and within 6 months she made that a reality, and now having worked with multiple military dogs over the years.
A new mural in one of the most diverse neighborhoods in the metro aims to prevent gun violence. The augmented reality art piece is located in the parking lot of Juan Pedro Library in the International District. When people use their phones, different portions of the mural will offer interactive links that educate the user on gun violence prevention.
Republican members of the House are giving an update on the state of spending talks as the possibility of the government shutting down. Now, the current federal spending plan expires at midnight on Saturday. GOP members say that cutting federal spending and protecting the country's southwest border are top priorities in the negotiations. Zoe.
Now let's get a look at that morning drive. No major accidents or slowdowns on your early Monday morning commute. And taking a look at the Big I right now, things are flowing smoothly early on your Monday morning.
After several months of riding his bike to work, a dad in California was gifted a fully paid car. Isaac Taylor's community came together to get him a car. 6 months ago, he lost his car in an accident, and ever since then, he's ridden his bike to and from work every day to care for his 6 kids.
And time now for the 5 facts.
At number 5, a local organization is painting a mural in one of the most diverse neighborhoods in the metro with the goal of bringing attention to gun violence. Located in the parking lot of Juan Pedro Library in the International District, the mural, called Burke Cares, has been 3 years in the making. New Mexicans to Prevent Gun Violence says the mural will be augmented reality. When people use their phones, different portions of the mural will offer interactive links that educate the user on gun violence prevention, as well as a list of victims' names. The mural will be completed by the end of the month.
At number 4, the Metro's newest chicken joint is opening its doors to the public. Slim Chickens is set to open here in Albuquerque on Montgomery and Wyoming. The restaurant serves chicken strips, chicken and waffles, wings, and sides like fried okra as well as mac and cheese. They also offer 17 different dipping sauces. This is already going to be the 3rd Slim Chickens here in New Mexico. The previous one opened on Wellspring Avenue in Rio Rancho last month.
Yum. And at number 3, we're looking at dry and warm conditions today, but kind of depending on where you're located. Easternmost parts of the state are going to be very much benefiting as a backdoor cold front has crossed the area. That's going to cool them down this afternoon. So compared to the triple digits that they saw on Saturday, eastern New Mexico is going to be a lot more comfortable, and maybe even a few clouds across the far southeastern corner of the state, where the rest of us are going to be a lot drier, a lot warmer, and a lot sunnier into today.
And number 2, attendance has been a problem within APS now for years. The district has created what they are calling school attendance teams, which consist of teachers, counselors, and social workers. The district says that the first approach is to talk to the student, but if the absences continue, that's when they reach out to the parents. They say that the number of students who are chronically absent has gone down by about 9 to 10%, and so far this year, that's staying on a downward trend.
And at number 1, the legal battle over New Mexico's newest redistricting map continues this morning. The New Mexico Supreme Court recently releasing an opinion advising the district court to use a 3-pronged legal test to determine if there is evidence of egregious partisan gerrymandering. Republicans argue in the lawsuit that district boundaries were drawn by a Democratic-controlled legislature, which looked to dilute Republican voter strength in the state's 2nd district, which the Republican Party suggests traditionally favors GOP candidates. New Mexico's Democratic Party argues that the map was created through a nonpartisan process. A district court in Lovington will hear the 3-day trial starting Wednesday.